Okay, welcome back for another installment of Regents Geometry. We are going to be talking today about area and perimeter in the coordinate plane. Unit 7, Day 10 on your PowerPoint presentations. I'm going to go through this. It's not going to be long. It's actually, I don't want to say self-explanatory, but the slides take care of it pretty well. If you look at this first slide where they talk about perimeter. Perimeter, as we all know, is the area around a figure. Think of putting a fence in your backyard, okay? It's a distance, it's basically one-dimensional. You're going, in straight lines. So what we do, for whatever the shape is, you need to use the distance formula to determine the length of each side, and then you just add them up, okay? So if you have a triangle, it's 3 sides. Any quadrilateral, you're going to be doing the distance formula 4 times. Okay, so it's up to you to be able to know the distance formula. We've got it right on this page, written 3 times. That's how you should start every time, so that means you memorize it. You find the distance of the 3 sides, and here we get 5, 10, and then 5 radical 5. And then all you do is just add them up. 15 plus 5 radical 5. Will they ask for simplest radical form, round to the nearest 10th or 100th? That's up to you to read in the directions. Make sure you're answering the question the way they want it answered, okay? Give your answer how they want it. Simplest radical form. Notice how we simplified radical 125 to get 5 radical 5. Okay, that's up to you to understand what the question is asking. All right, now for area, there's a couple of different ways we have to work with area. One is very easy. It says we use the area formula for any given figure, whether it's the triangle, 1/2 base times height. Any quadrilateral is base times height, and understand that base and height have to be perpendicular. They have to form right angles to be base and height. Okay, you can use the coordinates and the distance formula to find the side lengths needed for the area. When you have vertical and horizontal segments, you don't need the distance formula. You can just count. So if you look at this triangle, you know your formula is 1/2 base times height, and you count. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your base, 1, 2, 3 for your height. And then you just do the math, and there it is, 7.5 units. Very simple. Okay? So when you have horizontal and vertical lines, you can just count across. All right? Now, we're going to add a little bit to that. Sometimes you don't get horizontal and vertical lines. Sometimes your coordinates have different points that they connect at. So what we do is we teach what's called the box technique. You create a rectangle around the shape and find the area of the rectangle and subtract out the area that are not in your shape. You may remember this from algebra. See how we created the box here around the shape, and if you can't see it, we're going to shade in the pieces in the box that are not in the shape. And if you remember from algebra, okay, we talk about your unshaded area is your total area minus your shaded area. And there's a lot of ways to look at that. Shaded is total minus unshaded. Okay, so depending on what you're looking for. But here we have the triangle. We boxed it. We made a box around it. And the rectangle is actually 4 by 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I know we've got colors next to them, but the colors don't actually match up. I'm going to use this as 1. I don't know if you can see that very well. So this is 1. 2 times 7, we've got 2. 7. So 1/2 times 2 times 7 is 7. This triangle over here is 2. You're not seeing that very well, but there it is. You know what I'm pointing at. 2 by 5. So when we find that area, that's 1/2 times 2 times 5 is 5. And then down here, 1, 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/2 times 4 times 2 is 4. So the way this is we do 28, which was the total. You subtract out 7, then 5, then 4. All right, another way you may see this written, 28 minus, and then all of your shaded together, okay? And when you get this, it's 16. So it's 28 minus 16, and you get 12. And there's your answer for that one. Now I'm going to walk you through what we're doing for the next slide, the trapezoid. Very similar. The only difference is, and it's tough to see, when you have a trapezoid, and some shapes will be like this, you have like a little odd piece here. You'll notice this little odd square, okay? So that's a fourth piece. Sometimes you have 3 triangles around it. Sometimes you have 4 shapes. In this case, we actually have 5, okay? So if you look at the box that I created here, the box itself is 5 by 7, so that's 35 square units, okay? Now what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at this triangle right here first, okay? See if you see that. That triangle, and we do the area of that is 1/2 times 1 times 4. 1 times 4, and that comes out to be 2. Okay, now we've got this little box over here, all right, and that area is just 1 times 1, which is 1. All right, I'm just going to keep rotating around, so we'll call this number 3 here, if you can see that. All right, that triangle, and that triangle ends up being 1 by 1, 2, 3, 4. Be careful as you count. So 1/2 times 1 times 4, that gives you 2. All right, and then coming around this triangle here, we'll call it 4. This was 1, this was 2, 3, and then 4. And it's 1, 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So that area is 1/2. I'll slide this up a little. By 2 by 4. And when you multiply that out, you get 4. And then the last one right here, that last triangle you see right over here, okay, that one is 1 by 5. I'm sorry, check that, 1 by 7. 1/2 times 1 times 7, which is 3.5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 5, add them up, and I'm going to end up with 2, and 1 is 3, and 2 is 5, and 4 is 9, and 3.5 is 12.5. So then you come down, 35 minus 12.5, and you get 22.5 units squared. Wherever the units are, make sure they're units squared, and that, as you can see, is the answer we've got right here. So that's it. That's the box method. Very simple, very straightforward. Just so you guys know, the classwork that goes along with this lesson is page 47 and 48. Classwork, page 47 and 48. And then the homework is pages 49 to 50. Okay, so you can get those done, and we will be all set. Hope everything's going well. Have a great weekend. Actually, you're not going to get this till after the weekend. I'm doing it before. So have a nice week. Hope to see you guys back in the building soon. Take care, and good luck.